Now this play from Aari is just diabolical. Gets the bucket and the high five of approval and friendship right there. That is how you make a team. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Aari McDonald popped off in her first performance off of that hardship contract with the Indiana Fever, quickly becoming a fan favorite once they actually got to feel what having a real point guard felt like again. And I dove into her first game, broke down all the tape for you to kind of answer the question, how good was she? Where were her mistakes? And should the Fever sign her long term? But first, a big shout out to everyone that supported me so far. I just hit 5K subscribers.
Bow, bow, bow.
Thank you so much. I love interacting with you all down in the comments, whether it's good for my sanity or not, but I love to engage with my audience. So if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll be in there to hash it up with you. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first off, let's talk about Aari's stats. She played 27 minutes, likely because Colson got roughed up in this game, but still really good from a player coming in, doing one shoot around, doing VOD review from her plane seat. Hopefully they got her first class and to make her feel good after that performance. Maybe that's part of it, but she was definitely hungry this game. Got 7 points, shot 2 for 7 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. And then she had 1 rebound, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 2 personal fouls. One of them shouldn't have been called, but overall a pretty good performance for someone that's just jumping into a team right off the bat. And I think that the first place we're going to start to kind of review her play is on the offensive side of the ball. Now, first, we're going to start with Aari's first possession of the game, getting the ball, taking up the court against Melbourne. Melbourne giving us fits in the first game, all of our ball handlers stealing the ball from Sophie Cunningham at one point, drawing a foul, etc., etc. And so in this case, we're going to see Aari bring it up. And the thing I like about her dribble is it's nice and low. She speeds up. She gets Melbourne thinking that she can blow by her. She might pressure up the court. She can change direction. We see her switching hands. And so this kind of backs Melbourne off, which we'd love to see. Now we're going to see Aari go down. She's going to get the Aaliyah Boston screen. And as she comes in here, you can see the eyes from Aaliyah Edwards. She's kind of shading in here because she's afraid of Aaliyah Boston's roll right here. Melbourne practically falling over to the ground already. And the great part about this is that DeWanna Bonner, being the vet that she is, she's going to set up right here for a wide open 3. Aari's going to read it. She's going to hit her. And this is unfortunately not going to go in, but already on the first play, you can see, oh yeah, actually, okay. Yeah, she has chops. She's reading the defense. She's making quick decisions. She's finding an open shot. This is the type of stuff that's very encouraging from a first possession from someone that just hopped off a plane for you. All right, now we're going to look at a smart play from Aari. She is really good at dribble penetration and then finding an open player. Sometimes it's a player cutting the baseline. Sometimes it's a wing for an open 3. Sometimes it's just that pass, that quick 1 second, half second pass offense, the ball movement to get an open shot, but initiating it with a drive. And you can actually see right here that the Mystics are actually double teaming Aari. They don't want her to get the ball. They don't want her to be able to feed it to someone that can make a play. But the good news is that Dantas is going to come up. She's going to get the ball, pass it right back to Aari, and Aari's going to sit there, and she has to work quickly, right? She started with 7 seconds. Is the end of the third quarter. You have 4.7 seconds left right now. So what do? Well, she uses the screen, and now that she has her screen, she has a matchup that she likes. Shakira Austin, one of the keys of the game, abused that matchup, and she is going to just absolutely blow by her here. Just quick into the paint, and now the defense collapses onto her. And before, it's important to note that she got rejected during this game. We'll get over it, some of the bad decisions, some of the shades of Kelsey Mitchell decisions that she makes. As a smaller player, she's a lot easier to defend on these drives, and so she knows that with this collapse from Sonia, she's actually just going to hit Alexi Hall, who's out here ready to get the pass, beautifully gets it, shoots, and gives her a great shot at it. Alexi really wanted that one, unfortunately, but I think that, hey, that's the type of stuff you like to see. You like to see the penetration and finding an open player, and the more you do this, the more chances you have to hit pay dirt. And now for one of the most memorable plays for Aari in this game. Again, dribble penetration is key. She finds a way to get in and find the open player. And in this case, it's going to be big. Minute 37 left, 15 on the shot clock, setting up the offense, up 5 and wanting to put this game out of reach for the Mystics. She's going to get one screen here from Aaliyah Boston. And this is like a common kind of action that they run where Aaliyah Boston will, once Melbourne works through, she's going to come back the other way for a second screen. And then we're going to see Aari use this to dribble penetrate. And here we go. First screen, second screen, Aari penetrates. Now, the tough part here is this is actually a tight gap to fit through. And so the Mystics right here also very aware. Now, if this is Caitlin Clark, you have to believe that this amount of space for Aaliyah Boston means Aaliyah Boston's going to get the ball and she's going to go in. If Aari keeps it, then she could kick out to Mitchell or Hull. We've seen that already this game. But this is why penetration is so good, because it gives you so many options and threats. The defense has to kind of collapse, and that leaves openings. And so as Aari comes in here and she kind of gets bumped out, the most brilliant play here is Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell is out here and she sees that Brittany Sykes is not parallel with her. Brittany Sykes, while she's in, looks like she's paying attention to Kelsey Mitchell, she's really kind of cheating here onto Aari, maybe looking for to hop over and help. But Kelsey Mitchell sees this amazing back cut. Aari's going to find her, and the rest is history for one of the best and ones, putting the game out of reach for the Mystics. Big momentum play from her. And again, there's many moments where Aari gets dribble penetration, finds an open player, and we make something happen off of it. But this one is just one of the best ones in the game. Big momentum play, sealing the deal. Now, this is just a great example of Aari's core vision and smarts when it comes to running the offense for the Fever. In this case, she's actually playing off ball, but she's going to position herself well, and she's going to find Aaliyah Boston, which is something that our guards severely lack, because a lot of times they'll just hesitate and the ball won't quite get in. But for Aari, no, she's going to find Aaliyah Boston as soon as possible. She passes off to Aaliyah Boston, gets the bump here. And this is a thing that I really like from her. Even when she's off ball and there's other action happening over here on the court, she's kind of sagging into the open spot on the court. So if a pass does come to her, she has a chance at the shot. In this case, it's going to be pitched to Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell's going to come out. And this is another brilliant piece of her play. The ball is in mid-flight to her. She is already preparing for Aaliyah Boston to get over here and get the seal, because watch how fast this passes. She gets the ball, and she's a short player and hands are up for Melbourne right here. So she has to fake a little bit to get it in, but she's going to immediately just pump fake and then boom, pass in. We get the foul because Dolson can't defend Aaliyah Boston without holding her. And that's just the quick decision making. The passes getting in. You can see the little fist pump right here from Aari, just knowing that, hey, we got one in. We got the nod and clap of approval from Lexi Hall. Kelsey Mitchell's looking over here like, dang, we got a point guard again. This is so great. It's so great when you have a point guard. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is some good reads right here by Aari McDonald. And we'll just kick it off with Lexi Hall across the defense. She'll get it out to Aari. Aari pump fakes. She jab steps. And there's actually a really little cute move here by Kelsey Mitchell, who kind of fakes this kind of back door. And Brittany Sykes loses track of her. And then they do something just really, really clever over here between Bonner, where Bonner's going to, again, slip back behind Aaliyah Edwards and kind of draw the defense down. And then Kelsey Mitchell, who's lost Brittany Sykes, is going to pop back out here. And Aari reads us the entire time, finds her immediately for the three-pointer. And we're just going to watch this play out. Beautiful. There we go. And bang, Money Mitchell getting that money. So we mentioned it before, but Aari's off-ball movement is really nice. Here we're going to see her get Aaliyah Boston the ball. Now the Mystics are adjusting to Aaliyah Boston. She only got 5 shots and she was 100% when she got them, but they're going to double team here, cause her a lot of trouble. But look how active Aari is right here. She's going to fake like she's slashing, and then what she's going to do is she's going to kind of float out here to the open spot and then be there for when Aaliyah Boston gets control of this, trying to get the pass, gets it on the second try, and wide open 3, boom. Love to see it from your point guard. Now here we're going to hop over to the other side of the ball. Aari is going to be on her second stint on defense here. Going to have a miscommunication with Kelsey Mitchell on the switch. Kind of a little bit expected, bringing in a new player to a defensive scheme. But the thing that does jump off the screen is her pursuit and how much energy she has on defense. Active hands here, gonna go over, here's the switch, and she's going to immediately follow Sykes here. However, Melbourne's going to be cutting open through the lane. Shakira Austin's not going to be able to get that though. Kelsey Mitchell is going to recover, and we're going to see Aari split this screen right here, be onto Sykes, follow her over to the side. Unfortunately, Aaliyah Boston is going to sag down, which is going to open up Shakira Austin. Shakira Austin's going to get the ball at the nail, drive, draws the foul. Unfortunate, but you can already see right here between Kelsey Mitchell and Aari that they're hashing it out. So let's watch as this develops throughout the game and go on to our next play. This is later in the game, third quarter. One of the toughest things for Aari to do is going to be mismatches. Bigger players, she's a short player, but you got to be feisty. And what she's going to do is she's going to follow Aaliyah Edwards on this cut across the floor. Let's see it here. And as she does, she defends. But then as the ball we see skips out here to Shakira Austin, we have a Angsler out here at the top of the key, and we have Aaliyah Edwards posting out. Now, if Aari was to stay here and DeWanna Bonner is going to go out here, they're just gonna feed in to Aaliyah Edwards, and Aaliyah Edwards is going to get easy points. So what does Aari do? She immediately communicates right there to DeWanna Bonner and Aaliyah Boston that she's going to take Angsler and that they can take their players right there. You can see. And so they're going to be able to recover right here. And she's going to basically just spot up on her defender. And you love to see this kind of communication from a player that just joined a team on defense, kind of commanding the defense in a way. This is the flip side of what I talked about here. It's going to be really simple. Dolson's going to come up here for a screen. There's going to be a roll. Aari is going to switch with Dolson. And when we see that Aari gets into this position, now she knows that she's pretty much in a lot of trouble. And so she's going to chest up to Dolson. Dolson's much bigger and just kind of drive her into the lane and draw the foul. And otherwise, this would be points because they just give it to Dolson and she'd be in trouble. So there she kind of gets caught on the switch and on a bigger player. And that is a way that offenses, potentially the Sky, if they do some tape review, could abuse Aari on the defensive side of the ball. Now, this play from Aari is just diabolical, what she does to Sykes on this play. So we're going to see the play start, and she's going to basically front Sykes right down here. So you see her, she's fronting her. The ball's going to go to Shakira Austin. And then now, as it turns, we see that immediately Sykes is like, hey, just lob this over. And what Aari's going to do, because she's so shifty, is she's literally just going to immediately cut behind, pull the chair out, and then just go back here and almost pulls off an amazing steal right here. Unfortunately, her and Aaliyah Boston bobble it with a miscommunication, but that's just, she is so smart and scrappy on defense. And here's another one where she's making Sykes' life a living hell. Now, one of the things I love about Aari is that she's so active on defense, and you're going to see how she just plays Sykes so good here, just plays on defense. So right here, she's trailing Sykes across the court, but she hears a call behind her, so she immediately turns around in case she needs to give help. She doesn't know if Melbourne's driving on Kelsey Mitchell. She doesn't know, but she turns around and she's just active. She's listening. She's aware of the play. She's going to lose Sykes a little bit here, but Sykes is all the way across the court. She's not too worried, sees that nothing's going on. So now she's going to sag over by Sykes. She sees the ball in rotation here, and you can see that she's looking and kind of anticipating. Now, the one thing that's really good about her fundamentally is she's always kind of keeping parallel with her defender. So she has eyes on her defender and what's going on in the court, but to the baseline, and so that she can be able to react to whatever's happening. And so she also sees that the ball's kind of swinging around here. And so what she does is she beats Sykes to the punch here as she's paying attention. Unlike Sykes, who got beat by Kelsey Mitchell earlier, like we showed, she's going to beat Sykes to the punch, and she's going to get a brilliant steal here. Steals the handoff, takes off. Shakira Austin making mistakes, and she gets a big bucket for the Indiana Fever early in the game. One that you also love to see from Aari and don't expect from a hardship contract player, sacrifices the body, and she plays Sykes so well here. You know, she's been grinding her gears, playing tough defense against her. And right here, she gets the better of her. So she follows her down to the paint. And now she's going to fight through the screen right here, getting as skinny as possible, getting to be a pancake here on Kiki. But all this does is it gets Sykes kind of amped up. And we'll see as Sykes can get the ball out here. And she immediately, you can see this foot plant right here. She's going to come back. And what does Aari do? Aari takes a charge. Boom, right there. And the ball's going the other way. And you know what? She had a bunch of steals. This isn't going to show up as one, but she gets 3 offensive fouls in this game, which might as well be steals and her big momentum plays. And you can see Lexi Hall's very proud of her new defensive buddy right here. And let's watch some more beautiful plays of Aari putting it on the line. All right, this is Aari adding a huge bump to our defense, because what happened last time? Last time we were getting beat down the court. The Mystics love to run in transition and burn you. And right now you don't even see Aari on the screen because she's already booking it back after Lexi Hall gets blocked at the basket. So she is going to run back here, and she's already running back in transition defense. And you're going to see right here, what is she doing? She's getting back. She's getting back to paint. This is what we want to do. We want to get back to the paint, and then we want to pick up. In this case, she's going to get back to the nail. She's going to set up, and she is going to lay it all on the line right here. Get the charge out of Leah Edwards. And there we go. Love to see it from her. Just, again, this is a player that is hungry. Now let's talk about more of the mistakes we saw from Aari on the defensive side of the ball. She got the better of Sykes for majority of the game, but in the fourth quarter, Sykes went off. She was driving on everyone, but this is just an example of know your personnel and the fact that the Mystics ran this over and over again. This action was really good, and really all that Brittany Sykes is looking for here is for you to cheat just a little bit towards the screen, and then she's going to go left-handed because she is a left-handed player. And if you knew your personality, you know she's going to want to go left. So you should always be challenging her left so that she has to go right, and you can make her recover, get help, or do something to slow her down. Because otherwise, she's just going straight to the basket. So here we go. Aari going to fight through this screen. Looks really good. Sykes is going to kind of let up here. And it just takes a little bit. Just takes a little bit. Aari cheats over just a little bit. You can see her cheat up here, and then just cheats up just a little bit here, and Sykes is just, she's gone. There's a seal here. This is actually going to help Sykes get to the basket, and it's already over. Aari doesn't know it. She's going to hate herself for this one. Easy bucket for Sykes. And I mean, Sykes was just doing this to everybody this game, but still, that's just one of those things that you're going to want to clean up. On this play, we're going to see as Aari just gets a little bit of happy feet here. Melbourne beats her to the point of attack, turns the corner, and gets help from Boston. Luckily, doesn't get the shot off, and we're in transition, but that's just another point where she's getting beat, needs to, you know, maybe play her more to the sideline, but right there gets beat to the inside, and luckily, no points on that play. Here, this is just another area improvement or elevation for Aari at this point. In this case, she didn't really ever pass in the pick and roll, and yes, the opposing team obviously is going to plan for Leah Boston pick and rolling, but this is one of the ones where you have it on Shakira Austin. She is wide open on this one, but Aari's just not going to get into her, where Caitlin Clark would get it out 10 out of 10 times. And that's just the thing you're losing so far in her play. As you can see, here comes the pick, the roll. Leah Boston is wide open to take it in. She can pull up and do her little jump shot. She can drive it. She can do whatever she wants. She can drive and dish out to Dantas for a 3. Like, this should be where the offense is going, but instead Aari kind of gets gets caught up here, doesn't make the pass, and we roll out to a different shot. And unfortunately, DeWanna Bonner eventually whiffs and misses. Now, this was important because this is extracurricular, and this actually falls in the good category, but it's something I just want to highlight at the end of this, which is if you want to make a team, you know, you got Hull on your side, you got Kelsey Mitchell rooting for you on your side. They were clearly enamored. You can see in the post-game press conference, but who should really love Aari McDonald is DeWanna Bonner, because she gets bailed out not once, but twice in this game by Aari McDonald to mistakes that DeWanna Bonner does, whether, and a lot of it, the source of it is she gets a technical in this game. She's really frustrated with the refs. She's calling for fouls. And in this case, she's going to drive. She's going to not get the foul call. She's looking back at the ref, and she's upset. She's like, come on, ref. And she's basically just out of the play. They could just, the Mystics could just go straight up the court if they wanted to. However, Aari is going to come in and save the day. And look at this. She's active, steals the pass, loops around to Tawana Bonner, and gets the bucket and the high five of approval and friendship right there. That is how you make a team. That's a way to get on a roster if you endear yourself. But wait, I said there was a second time, and you're probably like, hey, like what was the second time? I want to know more. Well, here you're gonna see it. And this is another thing where Aari's great in transition. Tawana Bonner, bad pass, gets knocked off. But want to know what happens here? As they try to drive it up the court, Aari's already heading it off, and she's gonna disrupt the dribbler as they bring it up the court. Sugg gets the double dribble right there, and ball's going the other way. Aari saves Tawana Bonner's skin yet again off of a mistake. So in conclusion, what do we get? We get glowing reviews from teammates after the game. Aari gives a much needed boost energy-wise defensively. She's the best player in the point guard position not named Caitlin Clark to facilitate the offense and the ball. We need a reliable point guard for when Caitlin has to be out, or if you want to run a system where she does have stints where she's playing off ball, you want someone that you can trust that has good court vision, that can penetrate and dish, that can get the ball to the right player at the right time, like an Aari McDonald. The Sky game is going to be the prove it game, which is like, can you have a similar performance? Can you elevate the team? And then the other part is, now that you have a little bit more time, we have a bunch of days of practice left. Can you gel better with the team? Can we clean up some of the miscommunications? This team has had a lot of time together. They're still having flubs. What she did in this game was better than a lot of what we've seen so far in the absence of Caitlin Clark, and even with Caitlin Clark in some instances as the team is growing. So I think that in this instance, I think likely if she keeps up this performance, then I think the answer is clearly a yes, we should keep her. And so then the question becomes, okay, well, what does that involve? And so basically, here's kind of the skinny for on the roster. Basically, every player contract ends in 2025. The only players that we're still going to have under contract in 2026 are Leah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and Michaela Timpson. And those are on rookie contracts. Those are your golden contracts. Eventually, the Fever are going to have to plan for when Aaliyah Boston, when Caitlin Clark come off those contracts. They do have some ability to core. They do have restricted free agency, this kind of thing. So they have tools, but the contracts that are currently on the roster are mostly going to fall off. And with the CBA, I expect this team is going to potentially look different after that happens. And I don't think that Natasha Howard or Tawana Bonner are necessarily going to stay on this team past this season, but we'll see how it develops. Now, we also have 100K of dead cap for Katie Lou Samuelson, which isn't going to really fall off. And there's kind of this theory of like, okay, if we can wait for it to fall off and then we could sign her back, that's going to be the halfway point of the season. And really, you don't really want to wait that long if you think Aari McDonald is good enough, because some other team is watching the Fever much watch basketball. And so it's likely that other teams will be looking. So if you want to lock her up, the other catch is if you take out her contract to its extension, I think it's like 75, 78K, which puts us like negative 30K on our salary cap, which means really, regardless of the restrictions of a hardship contract, one of the things we'd have to do to keep her after we have enough healthy players, instead of just waiving her, is we would have to drop a player. So then the question becomes, who do you drop? And looking at the roster, you have really two options, which is going to be, I think, Sydney Colson, who you brought in and has been laying it on the line. Her last game actually wasn't too bad. I think in spurts, she is a great player, and guard is where you've had the most injuries. 3 guards down is why we kind of got to this situation, Sydney Colson gutting it out. Or the other way you go is Brianna Turner. And a lot of people have called for Brianna Turner. Frankly, in her in this last game, I think she was like a minute 48 with 1 turnover and -4 plus/minus and nothing else to show for it, which is kind of that's a bad sign. And there was also video of after the game when everyone was lauding Aari was you were seeing Brianna Turner not clapping. And that kind of sends the sign that maybe she knows that she's on the chopping block, because I think that getting rid of Michaela Timpson would not be a good decision. We've seen the Fever get rid of rookies before, cutting Celeste Taylor and that kind of stuff. Obviously, the Fever fans want Michaela Timpson to get time. I would rather see her get time at this point. From what I've seen from Brianna Turner, Michaela Timpson, all I've seen so far is that the last Mystics game, she got in for a little bit, got a one-armed rebound while her arm was getting held by, I think, Stephanie Dolson or Leah Edwards, someone. And so she got a one-armed rebound, which is something we desperately need after this last game, having rebounding woes. She is a little bit smaller of a player than Brianna Turner, but at this point, rookie contracts are nice. It's better to develop players on a rookie contract if you're not getting really something tangible out of the other players in that position on the roster. So I think most likely here, what the call is going to be, if they decide to keep Aari, if she performs off the Sky game, is they drop Brianna Turner. That opens up the cap space and the slot on the team to be able to pick her up full time, voids out the clause where you pick her up. And that is really the only path forward I see if we want to keep Aari McDonald, which I do think is a missing piece for the team. I think so far from what I've seen, the eye test, what I've seen on the court, most of the bad stuff is easy to clean up. The positives are so high that the bad stuff really doesn't affect me in a negative way or make me think that we shouldn't put this player on our team, because you do need contingency. Because what if this is an injury that nags Caitlin for throughout the year? What if we have to kind of load manage her to get her good, get her right? And you're going to want a player that just showed you she can play 27 minutes and have a positive impact on the floor. So we'll see what the Fever decide to do, but let me know down in the comments what you think. Was this enlightening? Did you like this breakdown? And remember, as always, you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing. And I'll catch you next episode.